The night air was thick with jasmine and diesel fumes when the glass in my hand trembled. A single drop of condensation broke loose and traced a slow path down the curve of the tumbler like a tear. I had just taken a sip, sweet, cold mango juice, my favorite, but it tasted off, not bad, not obvious. Just slightly wrong, like a song played in the wrong key. Still, I swallowed, thinking nothing of it. I looked across the table, smiled at my son, and asked about his life. That's when the security guard walked over, head bowed, like he was afraid of what he was about to say. "Ma'am," he murmured, hesitating, "after your son left, I think you should know. I saw him pour something into your juice." The glass slipped from my hand and shattered against the floor. "I suppose if I'm going to tell you the whole story, you need to know who I am. My name is Rena. I'm 53, a retired nurse, and a single mother to one child, Jared. That boy was my entire world. From the moment I held him in the birthing room to every scraped knee and school project after. I raised him alone after his father left when he was 4, promising to send money and never calling again. Jared had a way about him, even when he was little, quiet, observant, charming when he wanted to be. Too charming, teachers would say he's bright but distracted. Later it became he's smart but doesn't apply himself. By 16, he was skipping school and lying with the ease of someone who knew the truth didn't matter as much as the delivery. Still, I held on. I was his mother. I believed love could save him. The restaurant we were in that night wasn't fancy. Family diner with BPALL, AANCEDS, TIC menus and laminated table numbers, but the lighting was warm and the booths were comfortable. I had asked him to dinner after 6 months of near silence. He'd recently gotten out of jail, possession and fraud, and I wanted to rebuild something. Anything. He was dressed better than I expected. New jeans, polished boots. He even smelled good cologne, faint but expensive. He smiled, cracked jokes, talked about a new job opportunity in real estate. "Mom, I'm done with all that other stuff," he said. "I want to make you proud now," and I had believed him. God help me, I always did. Then the guard came. When he spoke those words, I saw him pour something into your juice. It was like the air left the room. My brain couldn't keep up. I stood there frozen, breath shallow, vision tunneling. I asked him to repeat himself. He nodded solemnly, said he'd seen Jared take a small vial from his pocket, open it quickly, and tip something into my drink when I'd gone to the restroom. "Why didn't you stop him?" I whispered, more to myself than to the guard. I wasn't sure what I was seeing. Thought maybe it was vitamins or something. Didn't seem, dangerous. He hadn't thought it looked dangerous, but it was. They took me to the hospital. I felt dizzy, faint, but I hadn't collapsed. Tests showed a sedative, something strong enough to knock someone out for hours, something often used in robberies. Or worse, by then, Jared had vanished. The detective assigned to the case was a man named Torres, ex-military, stoic, but with tired eyes that made me think he'd seen too many broken families. He sat me down the next morning and asked, gently, if I had any reason to believe my son would want to harm me. I broke. I sobbed so hard the breath caught in my throat, not because of the question, but because I wasn't surprised. I should have been, but I wasn't. The first subplot began to unravel 2 weeks later. That was when I got a call from a woman named Eliza. She introduced herself as my late sister's best friend, said she'd recently discovered some things, old letters, journals, while clearing out a storage unit. She wanted to meet. We met at a park bench under a weeping willow. She handed me a manila envelope filled with scribbled thoughts and secrets I'd never known. My sister, Rachel, had always been the wild one, the one who dabbled in drugs, cults, and chaos before dying in a supposed accident. But the journals painted a different story, of a man who had stalked her, manipulated her, controlled her. The same man, she wrote, who fathered Jared. I felt the world tilt beneath me. I had never known the full story of how Jared came to be. Rachel had gotten clean, she said, and had the baby for a fresh start. She'd given him to me when she realized she couldn't handle it. But she never told me who the father was, and now this. Jared wasn't just my son. He was the son of a manipulator, a predator. Was it nature? Was it nurture? Was it me? The second subplot came through Torres. As he dug deeper into Jared's life, he found something I hadn't known. Jared had gotten involved with a group online, part financial scam, part ideological cult. They taught people how to disconnect from toxic family, how to take back power through psychological tactics. Their forums were filled with phrases like reclaiming wealth from those who stole your youth and radical rebirth. Jared had been active for over a year. His username was Revenant47. His posts were chilling. He spoke about his maternal jailer and seizing destiny. He said he was working on the long con. That's what I had been. A long con. I started having dreams. In them, Jared was a little boy again, running through sprinklers in the backyard, laughing, calling for me, but when I turned him around, his face was blank. No eyes, no mouth, just a smooth, featureless mask. The hardest part wasn't the betrayal. It was the memory of loving him so completely, so blindly, for so long. I didn't give up. I started looking for him myself. Torres discouraged it, but I needed something to hold on to. I joined the forums, created a fake identity. I used every ounce of medical training I had, every ounce of patience. I messaged him, posed as someone interested in the movement. It took weeks, but finally he bit. He asked to meet. We met in an abandoned parking lot near the edge of the city. He didn't recognize me at first. I had changed my hair, my clothes, my voice. But when he got close, something flickered in his eyes. "Mom," he said. I looked into the face of my son, and I saw him at 5, asking for another bedtime story. I saw him at 12, sobbing when our dog died. I saw the man he had become, and the child I had lost. Why, I asked. He didn't answer. The climax came fast. Police swarmed. Torres had followed me with a trace. Jared tried to run. They didn't shoot him, thank God, but they caught him. And when they cuffed him, he looked at me, not with anger, but with something else. Grief. Maybe he knew, finally, what he had done. Maybe not. I don't know if he'll ever be the boy I raised again. But I do know he is getting help. Prison, therapy, structure. And I'm getting help too. Months have passed. I sit on my porch some mornings with a fresh glass of mango juice. I still flinch when I taste the sweetness. Still hear the guard's voice in my head, but I am healing. There's a lesson here if you want one. Maybe it's this. Love can blind us, but it can also save us. Not always in the way we expect. Sometimes saving someone means stopping them. Sometimes love is fierce and final. And sometimes it is simply surviving the storm and telling the story after. And this is mine.